Today I'm talking about Wrong Turn, which was released this week and is the 7th movie in the Wrong Turn series. Before watching this new installment, I watched all the previous movies in a single day, and that was a painful experience. Like a lot of slashers, Wrong Turn started off promising before it started churning out its terrible sequels. The original Wrong Turn is a simple premise. A group takes a wrong turn on a dirt road and they're hunted by inbred cannibals in the woods. It's straightforward, a lot of fun, and it has some solid kills and suspense. Wrong Turn 2 does a good job as a follow-up. It ups the gore and adds a unique premise, a knockoff Survivor reality show that encounters the same cannibals while filming. The first two aren't incredible, but they're enjoyable. They both look good, have decent scripts, likable enough characters, and it's clear care went into making them. And from there, this already pretty silly franchise fell off a cliff, got up, and walked off a second cliff. If you're listening to this and thinking, okay, how much worse can a franchise about backwoods cannibals really get? Trust me, these are awful. 3 through 6 are legitimately some of the worst movies I've ever seen. They look like absolute shit. They went from shooting in forests in Canada to cheap-looking sets in Bulgaria. The cannibals go from looking pretty realistic to looking like they're wearing Halloween masks. The kills go from brutal and believable to weird comedic Saw knockoffs. At one point, a cannibal kills someone by shoving a fire hose up their butt and exploding their stomach. These sequels also dive into the origins of the cannibals, as if audiences left the first movie with tons of questions about just exactly how these incestuous people eaters came to be. Were they fucking their cousins, or was it their sisters? Where did they get that tow truck from? Does Three Fingers have a son with 3 toes? Well, all these questions and more are answered. The only question not answered is why they kept making these sequels. Anyways, so after briefly looking at what came before, how was number 7? Was it more like 1 or 2? Or more like 3 through 6? Somehow, I think the answer is neither. Wrong Turn 2021 is barely a Wrong Turn movie. Similar to the modern remakes of Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Halloween, after all the silly sequels derailed the franchises, this new Wrong Turn tries to take a hard reset to present a much more serious and grounded horror movie. And in terms of positives, this movie does look good. It is very well shot and actually takes place in a forest. The characters and dialogue and performances work well enough. From a technical standpoint, this new movie is in a whole different stratosphere from the last few, though that isn't exactly a very high bar. I guess I can't really get into my issues with it or say why it's not a Wrong Turn movie without spoilers. So if you care, skip to this time code to avoid spoilers. Okay, so why I say this isn't really a Wrong Turn movie is because there are no cannibals in this. College kids do get lost in the woods, but they end up meeting a survivalist cult. This cult doesn't eat people, they just don't like outsiders coming near their village. There are no cool kills, it's pretty much just the group getting lost, meeting the cult, and then trying to escape the cult for the rest of the movie. There is one requirement to make a Wrong Turn movie, and it wasn't included. I find it baffling when movies do this. When I saw the trailer, I was pretty intrigued to see what a more serious take on the subject matter would look like. It's one thing to make a sequel with a different tone than the others. That can actually be a breath of fresh air for a franchise, an interesting new direction. What isn't fine is removing the one core element of the franchise. That just makes no sense to me. It's like making a Scream sequel where Ghostface is an actual ghost, or a Jaws movie about crocodiles. Overall, I didn't like Wrong Turn 7, and I'm not even sure who this movie is for. If you're a fan of the series, or you just like the first one, this is a totally different movie. It really has nothing to do with the others. This is a Wrong Turn sequel in name only. I wouldn't recommend this. And if you don't give two shits about Wrong Turn and you just want to watch a new horror movie, I also wouldn't recommend this. Even though it's technically competent, it's pretty bland across the board. Nothing stands out and it's not a new story. It doesn't have enough kills, action, or silliness to be a fun slasher, and it's not scary or suspenseful enough to actually be a serious horror movie. Writing this a day later, I'm struggling to even remember what happened. It is entirely forgettable. Anyways, that is my review for Wrong Turn 7, and I guess my mini review for the Wrong Turn series. Obviously, I didn't like 3 through 7. I'd say if you're at all interested in watching Wrong Turn, just watch 1 and 2 and pretend the series ended there. If you took a wrong turn yourself and stumbled upon this review, please consider subscribing. I have new videos up every Friday reviewing and recommending new horror movies. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.